Instagram versus reality tends to be a big problem wherever we go to in these days, but I have to say this is one place where it definitely does not disappoint. Welcome to the Rainbow Mountains of Palcoyo. Good morning guys, and welcome back to another video here from Cusco. Today we've got another day trip and we're actually going to visit the Rainbow Mountains of Cusco, but it's not the typical one that you usually think of. We're actually going to an alternative one that's cheaper, that's better, but we'll tell you more about it on the way. For now, we're waiting on the bus, so let's hope it comes and picks me up soon. Well, we had high hopes that that was going to be for us, but it was for somebody else at the hostel. I think hopefully our tour guide will pick us up soon, but just gotta keep waiting.
Palcoyo.
Sí, sí, sí.
Sí, vamos por favor.
Bueno, gracias.
Solo me subí. Que tengas un buen día.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Sí, vamos.
So breakfast is served. We've got some pancakes, some eggs, salad. Don't want to eat too much for breakfast because we are at a higher altitude, so we don't want to. Our digestion sort of slows down at a higher altitude, but nice breakfast, nice little easy spread before we head on to the hike. Gotten off the bus and you can see that it's actually parked all the way back over there. But the hike now begins. We have to climb all the way up there. Surprisingly, it's still pretty cold, and that's simply because we are at 4,900 meters above sea level, and we're going to continue hiking up, so it's going to get colder and colder, but the sun is now shining, so that is a bit of a relief. The drive up here was incredible. We saw so many alpacas, so many llamas, and these are wild alpacas. These are not like the ones in Cusco where like there's a lady dragging it and she asks for like 10 soles to take a photo. These are absolutely in the wild. This is how you would have found them, you know, hundreds and thousands of years ago in the wild, so that is incredible. But let's start the hike to the Rainbow Mountain here in Palcoyo.
Aquí estamos, ¿cuánto?
Aquí estamos a 4,900.
To help with the altitude, our tour guide has given us this alcohol, I think, and you're supposed to smell it, and that is supposed to help us deal with the altitude, because like I said, we are at almost 5,000 meters above sea level. This is probably the highest I'm going to be at during my whole trip in Peru, so it is definitely a higher altitude. Gotta get used to that, and that's why I'm going to breathe in more of this alcohol. But if you notice, the facilities here are relatively quite new. I mean, look at those roofs over there. They're all very new. And that's because this is a place that's quite newly established as a rainbow mountain. So it's quite different. It's not as commonly visited. So the facilities are quite new. They're just newly built, which is great for us. So we're one of the first tourists of, you know, these past few years to come and visit this place. Now the benefit of coming to Palcoyo instead of the other rainbow mountain, which is Vinicunca, is that this place, there's way less people. If you go to Vinicunca, you'll expect probably at least a few hundred people there. Here, it's a few dozen people, and that is much better. The other benefit is that here you actually get to see 3 rainbow mountains. So you can see the first one is the one that we just passed. That's the one right behind me. That is the rainbow mountain. You can see the stripes coming down, but there will be 2 more that we're going to pass by later. There's also going to be a bosque de piedras, which is a forest of stone, which in my opinion is a better deal than just going to Vinicunca. And the other benefit is that while it looks like we're sort of going uphill, and we are going uphill, this hike is a lot easier than the one at Vinicunca. First, because Vinicunca is actually at a higher elevation than this one, and second, because this one is a little bit more flat. Vinicunca is a lot more steep when it comes to hiking up to see the mountain. So this is a pretty incredible view, if you ask me. You still get the same rainbow mountains, you still get sort of the reddish hues across the valley, and it is incredibly beautiful to see that during the hike. We've now come to the second viewpoint along the hike. You can actually see there are 2, actually 3, all of them. So the first one is all the way over there. That's the first one we saw. The second one is right over here. We're about to walk to that one. And the third one is behind that one. But you can really see all those sort of rainbow mountains here. Now the incredible thing is that these rainbow mountains are not that old. They were only explored like a few years ago. And the reason for that is because this area was entirely covered in snow. So people didn't really know about these colors until, you know, global warming and the snow melted, and then they discovered these sort of rainbow mountains. So for all we know, there could be more rainbow mountains across this entire area. Once the snow melts, we might see more of these rainbow mountains. So there might be a new one. There might be more than just Vinicunca and Palcoyo one day, but we don't know. We have to wait for the snow to melt in order to see these beautiful colors in the mountains along here. But the hike is actually not too bad. It's quite easy. It's quite flat. Not too difficult. I'm actually quite enjoying it, and the weather is very beautiful today. The sun is out. Even though we're at a higher altitude, which you can see, the snow is actually not that far behind us. You can see there's still some snow up there. You can still feel a bit chilly, but the sun is still shining on you, so you're not freezing to death, which is a good thing. Well, we've made it to the third viewpoint, and this is where you literally see the rainbow mountain, which is right in front of us. This is the place where you take your Instagram photos and everything. The reason that there are so many colors and it looks like a rainbow is because there's a lot of minerals here. So like they've got sulfur, they've got iron, they've got all different types of minerals. Now, because there are so many minerals, obviously that attracts a lot of attention and people want to mine these minerals, which is why in the 90s, the former president of Peru, Fujimori, he actually sold all of this land to these European and American companies that came in and wanted to mine it for all the minerals that were here. However, the local people fought a revolution trying to protect it because this is their land, and they wanted to protect it so that these Europeans wouldn't come in and just mine away all the minerals here, and they succeeded. That's why we have this place. But now all of this is private property. It used to be public property until the former Peruvian president sold it off, which is unfortunate. But because it's private now, these companies are protected and people can come in and visit. But nonetheless, it is incredible the history, the people here fighting so that they can keep this to remain their land, so that they can continue living here and using it for their own purposes. Now, when I came up this viewpoint, I saw something very incredible. There are mountains all the way in the distance over there. That is 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍, which is the highest mountain around Cusco. And it's said that the Incans built Cusco because there would be 3 mountains. There's 𝐶𝐶𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏, which is we saw when we went to Umantay. There's 𝐒𝐶𝐁𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐍, which is out, and there's also another mountain. I forgot the name of it, but they would serve as like the protectors of the city of Cusco, because remember, back then the Incans believed the earth, the sky, that was their gods. So you can see it, and it's incredible. It's completely snow covered, and we see it so clearly. The weather is so nice today. We get a perfect view of the mountains. Could not ask for a better day to hike here. And look at this. This is the Rainbow Mountain right here behind me of Palcoyo. We're literally walking on top of one of the Rainbow Mountains. Look at the stripes. You got white here, red here. This is so cool. Can't believe we're walking on top of a Rainbow Mountain. It's so steep going down, but the colors make it completely worth it to go down this mountain. It may seem like the hardest part is over, but it's not. Now we have to climb that mountain right behind me all the way. That will lead us to the 𝐒𝐔𝐿𝐶𝐿𝐿, which is the forest of stone. But regardless, that's a pretty good view to have while you're hiking up that mountain. Now it's not going to be an easy hike, it's like zigzagged all the way up and it's pretty high, but you know what, it's going to be worth it. This has already been an incredible day looking at all these Rainbow Mountains. I just cannot believe they're actually this colorful, you know? You don't actually believe that it can be this colorful until you get here, but I'm sure the view is going to be better up there, so let's go ahead and get started. Well, we made it to the top, and I promised the view would be better up here, and without a doubt, it is. Look at those mountains all the way over there in the distance. It feels like it's the top of the world. I feel like I'm literally at the top of the world. This is the Andes. This is what the Incans lived in. This is their natural habitat. This is where they dominated. It's crazy to imagine that thousands of years ago, people were living here. Down here, you see the entire valley full of these different colors, reds, greens, blues, yellows. Man, this is incredible. But when you come up here, you're here for the Bosque de Piedras, which, as you can tell, is full of these different rocks. They call it a bosque because it's kind of like a forest. And let's go ahead and enter the forest. Hopefully we don't get lost. You're so high up in the mountains. There's literally snow here. That white snow just falling down. That's how high up we are. That's why it's so cold. Just like that, we've made it back down to where we started. This is exactly where we started the hike. You can see our bus is back there, and the rest of my group is coming back down from the mountain. What an incredible hike. I really enjoyed it. I truly felt like it was a really good experience. I had a lot of fun doing it, and the scenery is just incredible. Being able to see 𝐒𝐿𝐶𝐿𝐿 all the way far away, one of the most important mountains of Cusco, is just incredible. But now we gotta go for my favorite part of the day. It's lunchtime and it is included in the tour. So let's get on the van and let's go get some lunch. Very good spread with the rice,
Todavía nos sentamos en la misma mesa.
some stir fry, breaded potatoes, beans, everything. It's like a really good spread, actually. I think I'll definitely get filled up after that. So sounds like a very good lunch that we have here. Well, after a delicious lunch, we are only just going to be heading back to Cusco. So I figured it might be worth just ending the video here. What an amazing day it has been. Rainbow Mountain is a beautiful place, definitely worth visiting. The thing is, you can't really visit it on your own. You really have to go with a tour because it's difficult to get there, and it is quite dangerous because it's at a higher altitude. So you want somebody who has oxygen, who has things that can help just make sure that you survive through it, basically. And transport wise, there's no public transport there, so you literally have to join a tour. I loved it. I highly recommend it. The food's also included, so that's always a really good thing to have when you come back from a hike. Like, you really want to have a lot of food. That was great. The buffet was amazing. But that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos across here in Peru. We still have a lot more places to visit in this beautiful country, so make sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.